Spaced learning is a very powerful training tool. Now, you may be familiar with it, but if you're not, let me just give you a little background on the concept. So the idea is that after a traditional learning event, say a face-to-face training session, or maybe an online course, the students forget most of what they learn over a period of time. This is called the forgetting curve. And spaced learning is reintroducing small pieces of that learning, of the traditional learning. Sometimes we call these small pieces micro-learning, over scheduled time intervals. So as you see in this example, we see that after 3 weeks, the learner's retention has dropped to 60%. But now if we reintroduce micro-learning 1 week after the learning event, we can see that that retention jumps back up from 78% at that point in time to 100%. And the forgetting curve has now been extended from 3 weeks, if we hadn't reintroduced the microlearning, to over 7 weeks before they once again drop to 60% retention. But now if we keep this up, say we reintroduce a microlearning piece again at 3 weeks, we see the same jump in retention, and more importantly, we see that the forgetting curve has been dramatically increased. So, how do we create spaced learning in the PinPoint app? Well, the way that assets are created and stored, the way tasks are assigned, and the inherent mobile nature of the app, it makes PinPoint the perfect spaced learning tool. We want to create a series of micro-learning tasks, which are comprised of small pieces of learning pulled from the learning event, the initial learning event, and schedule them to be delivered to the learner over planned intervals of time. So for this example, let's say that our learning event included a number of instructional videos, but it could have been any assets or combination of assets, documents, images, assessments, so on. We would create micro-learning tasks for each of the videos and schedule them to be delivered over a period of weeks after the learning event. So, to create our first micro-learning task, we will tap the plus icon here on the home screen next to the All Tasks button to create a new task. We will make this task an assignment so that we can push it to the learners on the exact dates we choose. And I'll name my task Micro Example. And I'll add an asset here. In this case, let's say that this is one of the videos from the learning event. I'll add it. And then once I've added an asset, I'll add all of the learners who I want to receive the assignment. And now, I could add a pinpoint, but in this case, I just want to send the task to the learners, directly to the learners. I'm not concerned about where they might be when they receive the task. For me, with spaced learning, it's more important when they receive it. So I'll skip adding a pinpoint. Now, when I get down here and I set the start and due dates, this is really where I'm performing the critical step in creating the spaced learning strategy. So let's say that our traditional learning event is happening today, and I want my spaced learning events to occur every week for the next 2 months. Well, I would schedule the start date for this first micro-learning for a week from today. So this ensures that my learners will not see this task until a week from now, when I know that by reintroducing a concept from today's traditional session, they will retain and be able to recall the learning that much better. So now as I create my other spaced learning tasks after this with other pieces of micro-learning taken from our event today, each with an asset from the learning event, I will continue to set the start dates 1 week apart. So my second micro-learning will be delivered 2 weeks from now, my third 3 weeks from now, and so on. And, once I've created the tasks and set the future start dates, I can basically, set it and forget it, knowing that I'm utilizing one of the most impactful learning strategies available, spaced learning.